Hello everybody, Glitch Reaper here. I'm otherwise known as the original card game for the win, and I'm going to be doing a bit of another major pack opening run here, because after having done all the drafts I'm going to be doing for this particular set, it's time to actually just go with the rest. Thing is, I've kind of dissipated my tokens a little differently this time, doing it basically once a month to go along with what they consider draft season. That way I could kind of get at least a little bit of entry in each one, so I could get some extra bonuses from them just for having participated. Yeah, it's hard to get draft format really lit up like a Christmas tree compared to just doing it with constructed, but I mean, it contributes a little extra. So if you just spread them out a little bit more, you can get that little extra push. But I'm going to go forth and open an absolute ton of these now. So 70 in a row. Let's go. Because I've got a lot of the set already collected. I recently got my first copy of that on another thing. I'm trying to remember what I got. Oh yeah, it was during my last draft that I did it actually, but hey, an uncommon wildcard also helps, because I'm going to need a lot of those to get the older sets completely collected. Speaking of which... maybe an extra copy of those, but when it comes to those kind of lands, it's always appreciated. Every time. I do like myself some multicolor lands. I said lands, not lanterns, but anyhow. That is a very strong spirit. Kind of. But it can be a very strong spirit. Oh, first of a couple of, okay. I did not realize I hadn't collected those particular uncommons yet. Okay, that helps. And of course, a very big honkin' set of vampires. Of course, I get a rare wild card just for getting enough there, and it looks like I'm on course for my next mythic rare, actually. And that's actually my first Guardian Plaid. Okay. So it is interesting that it's about doing it per turn, but still, I mean that'll count up pretty easily. So that could be what. Yes, Catilda. I know I've collected you before, but admittedly you are a good one. And with those trades, that legendary enchantment version is kind of ridiculous. I mean, she's strong, but adding that onto another creature? Wow. Especially when a lot of things do concern themselves if they're not something enchanted, so... That's gonna stack. Okay. So we get a very toasty werewolf. Extra uncommon wildcard. Investigator's Journal. Okay. So that's the rare of this round. Very suspicious, because that's all it's about, is things that are suspicious. Okay. Giralf, the Visionary Stitcher. So if you're going with zombies, there you go. That's where that Lancer comes in. Oh, definitely one of the remaining rares I needed to get out of the Legends, so thank you very much. This one, you could keep getting +1/+1 counters on things every time, because it's, yeah. In fact, that'll just keep accelerating if you, if you also keep powering them up too, so, yeah, that could get also very wild. Just want to know some things like to mirror counters, so, yeah. Aha! Lots of tokens will be coming out because of that one. That is a very dangerous zombie, but it also has quite a price to pay. Unless you can prevent damage to yourself repetitively, you're gonna take some serious damage. But you can also take out Planeswalker without having anything in your way, so yeah. Big rare, please. I'm pretty close to super collecting certain sets. If only I get enough more mythic rares, then it's on. Meanwhile, extra uncommon wild card. Ah, the Evanwald Oddity, and its big transformation into the behemoth. Yeah, that thing will get ridiculous if you can transform it. I mean, trample haste and everything else gets +1/+1. Trample and haste. Yeah, that's gonna be very painful. In fact, I think I have been hit by that thing before. And yeah, that's smart. Hello again, Edgar. Having a good time? Apparently, you're not very happy about the state of vampirism in Innistrad, but hey, it'll get better. And of course, some more common wild cards also help. Cultivator Colossus. Yeah, that thing is huge. There I go. And that one is everything with a +1/+1 counter on it is suddenly an angel. So, yeah. Already got it, but still, yeah. Definitely in the department of a little ridiculous. Especially if you're really doing something with angels. The Piper. I finally got the Piper. Oh dear. Yeah. Yeah, I think actually the Piper in her base form is probably more dangerous in a way than transformed, because being able to just... Because, look at it this way, she only has the ability to put creature cards from your hand onto the battlefield in her first form. Now, if she transforms, you get to keep looking for creatures, but you don't get to put them right onto the battlefield. This lets you put something huge on the battlefield very cheaply, because for one green, one generic, and a quick tap, and things are gonna get wild. So, yeah, I'm gonna make use of that in the future. Reno Stromkirk, and his transformation is basically to reveal the power of Cthulhu, so we know this. I mean, come on, Proteus is totally Cthulhu. Or at least their adage, or homage to Cthulhu. Meanwhile, a couple of wild cards here. Always nice. I recently got that one also in my last draft run, so okay, getting some interesting repeats of that here, but that's okay, because some of them are pretty good cards, and come in really handy in some themed decks. That really is my first one, that one? Okay. Going up higher. Yeah, that how to multiply your zombies 101. Gun wild card. Self-milling. I'll leave it so. But this one's one I really needed. You can exile a creature card from your graveyard, but ultimately those two would play good together if you really wanted to. You create a token, except it's also a 0/0 construct artifact that, in addition to its other types, but also has that it gets +1/+1 for each construct you control. So the more of them you get out, or just constructs you're playing, the bigger it's going to get. Also, it gains haste. So yeah, so you could thonk with some decently sized artifact creatures. Also, kind of resurrecting them at the same time. Kind of. I believe I've had this one for a while, but interesting that it shows up. I'm going to have a lot of common and uncommon wild cards to spin however I please very soon. Definitely nice to have an additional copy of these, though, because they also let you copy other creatures, including opponent's creatures, might I add. And yes, I've already done that. It is cool. So it's like, hey, let's just pop out with copying creatures suddenly. Not the most original way to do stuff, but isn't that kind of the point? Path of Peril. How to explode the entire field very quickly. Wild card. Thank you, thank you. Big Wolf. Also got a couple of those in my most recent, or my final draft for Innistrad. Crimson Vow, so yeah. Winged Portent. That's really my first one, that? To be perfectly fair, it works out both cleave and otherwise if you're doing certain types of decks. You might be getting a lot of cards in your hand. So, nice. Whispering Wizard is hilarious when doing spirits. just say that is truly. Oh yes, yes. I was hoping to get her as one of my mythic rares. Yeah. I mean, flying, death touch, and lifelink transform state, and you can just basically go for it. Also, just the ability of making it where everything you control has flying, death touch, and or lifelink suddenly gets +1/+1. Basically, everything that has one of those abilities is suddenly powered up. So, yeah. So she knows how to bring other creatures that have her abilities to the party. Even though she's not technically a party spell. More wild cardage. Straight up a rare wild card. Okay. Common wild card. Lots more of others over there. A straight up mythic rare. Oh, 2 straight up high tier wild cards in a row. I'm feeling good. That said, I do need a couple more to finally get a certain set completed. But some others I think I'd already qualify for. I really didn't have the Angelic Quartermaster until now. Well, it certainly helps. Being able to put a couple counters on other things is certainly going to make stuff nice. Having a few extra of these around is going to be fun for a few decks where you need to sack creatures for a big upshot. Okay. The Uprising. At the beginning of your end step, create a 1/1 red human creature token. If you control exactly 13 permanents, you may sacrifice it, and when you do it, deal 7 damage to the target. It's just the fact you're creating a lot of tokens may or may not be better, but hey, if the only has like 7 HP left, or life left, I should say, then, you know, I mean, it could be a very interesting dramatic finish. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this one is a seriously menacing werewolf. Oh, my vault's full. Okay. Another uncommon I didn't have yet. Interesting. A rare wild card. I'd like to open my vault now, as I get serious wild cards. Back to the pack. Thing is, vault progress is invisible unless you use certain third-party programs, but it will show you whenever you got it fully powered. And then it's showtime. So that came up. Now, it's interesting just that Thalia is a perfect reprint of her from earlier. Just saying. So, if you missed having her before in a previous set, that you were waiting for her to be, like, not considered historic, there she is. At least before the rotation. Oh, flag. Couple of wild cards. Nice. Speaking of wild cards, I have the sampler except a mythic rare, just in this particular one. I'm wondering, how is this my first of this one? I know it's a rare, but still, how is this my first copy of this? Apparently, at some point, I could just rampage with vampires. Especially if you could imagine all four of this eye on the field. All of them have their ability completely powered up, and they just nuke somebody. Yeah. Having more than one copy of those definitely is a serious pain incoming. Hello again, Howling Moon? Not as crazy as that other green enchantment, but still helps when you're playing wolf and werewolf. Extra wild card. The perilous path just keeps coming up. Now I have more than one Piper for the tremendous creature shenanigans. Okay. And I'm about to get the last mythic rare I need to collect a certain gold set. But I might just have a set collection party as well. Goddess summons. Again, we have suddenly everything's an angel if you put counters on everything. The Cemetery Desecrator. One of the last of the cemetery set that I needed. I think I might have one more left, but we'll see. And they're mythic rares. I just got a mythic rare, so let's see if another one happens to show up. Nope, it's the oddity and some other stuff that's nice, but not the mythic rare or the last of the cemetery creatures. Only if you could really cleave would that really be worth it. Just a little music in between. To be perfectly fair, for this being a wedding-themed set, it really does seem to capture the idea of wedding music on this. Did it just, glitch, or did I... I thought I hit the bottom and did not go. Can you only click from the top to get them to go? I'm wondering about that. Need some more wild cards. I'm gonna have an absolute boatload of wild cards. To super collect some old sets pretty soon. There's gonna be a whole lot of spiritual mimics out there. And some very angry werewolves. Just plain cute. Just plain cute, just saying. Ooh, okay. More land ho. Not playing a pirate deck right now, just saying land ho. Okay. Now, there's something that I'm wondering about some things combining here. And it is coming up. I haven't thought something through with this particular card. I'm just wondering what's going to happen later, and I may have to do a little bit of a wild test with it. Just saying that there could be a fancy what happens if run at some point. Just something I've been thinking of doing is just a few, like, can you actually do certain combinations? That's the last cemetery cycle creature I needed. So, yes. The Cemetery Prowler. That was the last one of those, so thank you very much. The white and black one is definitely a good one, because I do like playing that color combination a lot, so, yeah. Dig up. Oddly enough, my first one of these, and one that I'm definitely hyped about having, because if you search for a basic land, that's nice for just 1 green. If you go all out for 1 generic, 2 black, and 1 green for the cleave, you can get any card, and you don't even have to reveal it. Just put it in your hand and shuffle. So suddenly it becomes Demonic Tutor. I'm not sure how many people made that particular analogy, but suddenly it becomes Demonic Tutor. There could be a lot of bugs showing up very soon. Getting wilder with the cards. There's better extra turn cards than that one. I like a lot. Oh wow, it's like barely not enough for that last mythic rare. Okay, fair enough. I'll get there. I remember on one of my earlier draft runs I got this. It actually held its own pretty well. Because having that flying zombie show up out of nowhere got more than a few people by surprise. Especially when it could also dispel at the same time. And oh, hello you. Apparently I still needed this one. Surprised I hadn't got it earlier in this particular run, but here you go. So yes, it's the guy who's been committing a terrible murder. Not sure why I decided to say it like that, but hello, random mythic rare. I'm feeling very nice that you were there. Definitely a sign of collecting the rest of the set party. It's a big return to hand spell on Consuming Tide there. Extra wild card. Oh. Yeah, that one could get a little wacky. I mean, if you're okay with destroying your graveyard, this thing could get wild. Exile target creature card from your graveyard, put +1/+1 counter on Patchwork Crawler, and it has all activated abilities of all creature cards exiled with it. So, yeah, that could get a little nutty. Change of Fortune. Interesting artwork on that one. Reminds me of an old school card as well, that was similar. I think it was called Wheel of Fortune or something like that. There's definitely a lot of hunting wolves coming around here. Ah, the Ballista Wielder. Did I get you earlier, or was I just waiting for you for now? Because sometimes it doesn't trigger first on things. Either way, I got a straight up rare wild card, so okay. Edgar is definitely showing up a lot. His ability to self-resurrect with his coffin is definitely interesting. It's like, and I'm just back. And I'm not Drax, but I am back. Additional straight-up wild card. Okay. Server lag. Okay. Some extra wild card action there. Hello, Grolnock. Interesting to see you here. It's just not the best deal. Hello? Again? Mythic Wildcard is upcoming. And hello again, you too. One thing about these transformations is you can't really go to the other thing and see the other quote on it from this side. You gotta wait till it's on the battlefield. So interesting thought. Something else like that once. Finally, I get this Geist. I've been waiting for you for quite some time. I may turn something around and put you back into a spirit deck that I have. So, yeah. Because that one has some pretty cool abilities to keep stuff tapped out. The Reaver is back, apparently. Dying to Serve. If you discard one or more cards, create a tap 2/2 black zombie creature token, but it only triggers once per turn. So, and I mean, at least you get a little extra from it, because you're getting some extra zombies. Oh. Maybe I was thinking of the other one with well, anyhow, this one's a good one. Kind of. You can't block, but whenever it deals combat damage, you get a blood token. And if you sacrifice 2 blood tokens, and pay a black for it, then you can return it from your graveyard right to the battlefield. So this one is also good at self-resurrecting. Not quite as dramatic as Edgar, but they got some style of how they do it. And I believe we're on the last one. Okay, now let's see how we did with the old. Yeah, that was a huge amount of things. So yes, lots and lots of stuff. This is what happens when you wait a while and then get 70 packs opened at once. I mean, could it have been more? Maybe, but I was trying to strike a bit of a balance. So, yeah, it did. Lots of things. I have 3 of Edgar right now. Okay, and I know I have all 4 of Olivia, so there's that. Okay, what do I have left, if any, of Crimson Vow? I do have some. I do have some. That really cut out a lot. 1 page of it exactly. I can't go either direction. Okay, and I just got an absolute boatload of wild cards, so if I want to spend a little bit to just finish it off, I can. Kind of. I mean, I'd need an extra mythic rare or 2 to fully pull it off, but hey, I just slammed it hard. So, yeah. I'm still going to have a few of the ones coming up on the mastery, so yeah. So I'm still going to get 178, the 183, and then things kind of go infinite after a while. But yeah, that was pretty crazy. But I'm going to have a couple packs left, and still going to be getting cards along with my wins, so there's that. But on to finishing off an old set, finally, because I have a boatload of wild cards. And I was thinking if I had 8 or more mythic rares that I could finish off after all this time, War the Spark. So I'm going to officially finish off War the Spark just to do so. Because I also don't have much left on it either. It's something I collected a lot of, so it did add up. So time to just hit off with classic, just collecting it to collect the rest. Of course, here's one that's specifically about getting planeswalkers, so that's always interesting. The finales are impressive, but you gotta spend a lot of mana to get their bigger effect. Still. One of the last gods I needed to collect. Period. Why not that one for a while? Well, it just didn't quite synergize as much with some of the others, so I waited for him, but he's still good. Liliana, I've definitely seen a lot of this being used in Historic, so yeah. Liliana gets it done as Dread Horde General. So actually, emphasis is going to be on vehicles again pretty soon. Who knows? Be interesting. Want to have a ninja driving a tank? It could happen soon. Oh wait, you can already do that. Now this one's interesting because of how it synergizes with Planeswalkers. It will go just positively nuts if you've got a good amount of Planeswalkers, so yeah. There's, the funniest thing is you could also get rid of negative counters if you wanted to. in good with this one, so that one could be a therapeutic zombie wizard of the eternal variety. Tamio, you will be remembered. Gideon, you will also be remembered. So for the Planeswalkers that are having a bad time in history, things that they will be remembered. Jace, you just keep on going. And here's also how to pull them out. The thing is, there used to be a lot more cards about specifically seeking out particular Planeswalkers. Still happens once in a while, but not as often as it used to. And now I technically have all, and I do mean all, of War the Spark after all this time, and I still have a boatload of wild cards. Although when it comes down to it, I do only have one Mythic Rare left, but I still will be, of course, getting stuff along the way, so I'll recharge that at some point, and things will go all out again, so we'll see. So meanwhile, I'll be logging off for now. So that has been just absolutely wild. And yeah, again, we're coming up on Neon Dynasty, so hence maybe a few of my references I just made, because stuff will be going crazy very soon in the most cool cyberpunk way, with so many references. Anyhow, I'll be logging off for now. Hope to hear from you all later. Bye for now, and remember, MTG forever.